Fluent Flow Podcast, Episode 55, Mastering Self-Discipline.
Welcome back to Fluent Flow, the podcast where we dive deep into the mindset shifts and daily strategies that help you move closer to your goals. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Today, Sarah, we are tackling a topic that is universally challenging, yet absolutely vital for anyone pursuing long-term success: self-discipline.
That's right, David. Our sources describe self-discipline as the cornerstone of success. It's essentially the bridge between intention and action and between desire and accomplishment.
It's so true. I think many people rely on pure motivation, but motivation is temporary, isn't it?
Exactly. Discipline is what transforms fleeting motivation into lasting habits. It ensures that you keep moving forward, even on the days when the excitement fades or the road gets tough. It's not just about controlling impulses. It's about making choices that align with your values and long-term goals.
So if it's not about being perfect, what is it about?
Self-discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It means being consistent. It means showing up, making progress, and staying committed to what truly matters. When you master it, you gain control over your life. You stop being reactive and start being intentional. You stop making excuses and start taking ownership.
That mastery sounds like a lifelong endeavor.
It is. But with the right techniques, you can build the kind of discipline that will serve you for a lifetime. We have 6 proven strategies to discuss today, starting with the power of taking small steps.
When I try to start something new, I often try to do too much at once. I think discipline means making a grand sacrifice or pushing myself to extremes.
That thinking is common, David. People often imagine discipline as something dramatic and overwhelming. But the first technique is understanding that discipline begins with small, manageable steps. Success doesn't come from one monumental effort. It's the result of consistently doing the little things that add up over time.
Why are small commitments so effective?
Because they're achievable. You set yourself up for success because you're not overwhelmed by the size of the task, and you're not paralyzed by the fear of failure. Instead, you build momentum. For example, instead of overhauling your entire routine, commit to 5 minutes of exercise, 1 page of reading, or swapping out 1 unhealthy snack.
Those changes seem insignificant on their own.
They might, but over time they compound into meaningful progress. Consistency is the secret ingredient. When you keep small commitments every day, you create a pattern of success. This pattern eventually becomes a habit, and habits are the foundation of discipline.
And that consistency also builds trust with yourself.
Absolutely. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce your confidence and self-worth. Conversely, when you break a commitment, even a minor one, it chips away at your trust in your own abilities. That's why you're better off starting small and building up than aiming too high and falling short.
It sounds like the focus should be on the effort, not the immediate result.
Exactly. The key is to focus on the process, not just the outcome. Discipline is about progress, not perfection. These small commitments are what build the mental and emotional strength needed to tackle more significant obstacles. Moving on to our second technique, learning to prioritize what truly matters. This is about working smarter, not just working harder.
So knowing where I'm going is just as important as the effort I put in.
More so. Discipline without direction is like a ship without a compass. Prioritization begins with clarity. You have to know what you're aiming for. Many people drift through life without a clear sense of purpose, getting caught up in busy work or other people's priorities.
How do we gain that clarity and focus on the right things?
You must define your goals and what kind of person you want to become. Then, identify your big rocks. These are the tasks, goals, or commitments that have the greatest impact on your life. Successful people focus on their big rocks first. They schedule time for their highest priorities.
That requires setting boundaries and learning to say no.
It does. Not everything can be a priority. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that truly matters. Discipline means being willing to disappoint others at times in order to stay true to your own goals.
And we must separate urgent from important, right?
Correct. Urgent tasks demand immediate attention, but aren't always aligned with your long-term goals. Important tasks are the ones that move you closer to your vision. Successful people don't let the noise of urgency drown out the signal of importance. Practically speaking, one powerful technique is to plan your day the night before. Identify the top 3 things you want to accomplish the next day. Another tool is time blocking. Proactively schedule blocks of time for your important tasks and treat these blocks as sacred appointments with yourself. During these times, eliminate distractions and focus entirely on the task at hand.
And finally, we should align our work with our peak energy levels.
Yes, a disciplined approach involves managing your energy, not just your time. Identify the times of day when you're at your peak and schedule your most demanding work during those hours. This maximizes your effectiveness and creates momentum.
So, we've covered clarity and small actions. The next stage must be consistency, which brings us to habits.
Exactly. Technique 3 is building habits that automate your success. People often rely on willpower, but willpower is a finite resource. If you rely on it alone, you'll burn out quickly.
So, the most disciplined people use systems instead of relying on brute force.
They do. They build habits that carry them forward automatically. Habits are the foundation of discipline because they reduce the need for constant decision-making. When something becomes a habit, it requires less effort and willpower to maintain.
And consistency is the key here.
It's paramount. The key to forming habits is consistency. It's about showing up every day, no matter how small the effort. Over time, your small actions compound into significant results. Think of it like a metaphor. A single drop of water doesn't seem like much, but when those drops accumulate over time, they can carve through stone. One great strategy is habit stacking. This means attaching a new habit to an existing routine. If you want to start journaling, attach it to something you already do every day, like brushing your teeth.
And our environment seems crucial here as well.
It is. Environment plays a crucial role in habit formation. Successful people design their environments to make good habits easy and bad habits difficult. If you want to focus more, create a dedicated workspace free from distractions.
Accountability and tracking also help cement these new behaviors.
Yes. Accountability is another powerful tool for building habits. Also, tracking your habits is an effective way to reinforce them. By keeping a simple chart, you create a visual representation of your efforts and a sense of accomplishment. Also, pay attention to timing. The earlier in the day you complete your key habits, the more likely you are to stick with them. This is because your willpower is strongest in the morning.
And we should remember the ripple effect.
Definitely. The beauty of habits is that they create a ripple effect. When you build one good habit, it often leads to others. For example, when you're working out, you usually eat better, you usually sleep better, you're usually more disciplined all around. Success breeds success, and habits are the catalyst. The fourth technique is about the critical ability to delay gratification. This is one of the most defining characteristics of disciplined and successful people.
It's about choosing the future reward over the immediate urge.
Precisely. It's the ability to resist the lure of short-term pleasure in favor of long-term rewards. This technique hinges on the understanding that discipline is not about deprivation, it's about choice. It's about choosing what matters most over what matters now.
I love the idea that we should frame these decisions not as sacrifices.
Yes, they are investments. Every time you delay gratification, you're not giving something up, you're gaining something far more valuable. A better version of yourself or a stronger foundation for success?
How can we train our minds to focus on that long-term gain?
By training your mind to focus on the long-term benefits rather than the short-term costs. For instance, if you are tempted to skip a workout, picture how good you'll feel after the session. Visualization is a powerful tool here. Regularly imagine the outcomes you're working toward. Another strategy for managing temptation is to use delay tactics. When the urge to indulge arises, commit to waiting just 5 or 10 minutes before acting on it. This short pause often diminishes the intensity of the urge.
And we must shift how we view discomfort in this process.
We must. Most people view discomfort as something to be avoided, but successful people see it as a sign of growth. They understand that discomfort is often the price of progress. When you embrace this mindset, you see the value in temporary struggle.
So, the ability to delay gratification is also tied deeply to self-trust.
Absolutely. When you consistently honor your commitments to yourself, you build confidence in your ability to follow through. This self-trust becomes a powerful motivator. Ultimately, This technique is about mastering your impulses and aligning your actions with your values and vision. Our fifth technique is to create and commit to a structured routine. Routine is often called the backbone of discipline.
How does routine help us stay disciplined, rather than making us feel caged?
Structure doesn't restrict your freedom, it enhances it. When you have a routine, you eliminate the need to make constant decisions about how to spend your time. This reduces mental fatigue. Your routine should start with clarity about what you want to achieve and why it matters. Once defined, the key actions must be scheduled into your day. When something is on your schedule, it becomes a non-negotiable commitment.
And where should we focus our routine efforts?
Begin with a purposeful morning. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Incorporate activities like exercise, journaling, or reading. Equally important is your evening routine. This provides an opportunity to reflect on what you've accomplished, plan for tomorrow, and wind down.
What about consistency versus flexibility?
Consistency is the secret to making a routine effective. However, you need built-in flexibility. Rigid routines can become a source of frustration when unexpected events arise. Successful people adapt without losing sight of their priorities. Remember that routine is not about perfection. It's about progress. If you miss a commitment, don't let one misstep derail your efforts. Recalibrate, recommit, and move forward with renewed focus. Routine ultimately bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be.
This brings us to the final and perhaps hardest technique, embracing discomfort as a necessary ingredient for growth.
That's right. Discipline doesn't flourish in a bubble of ease and comfort. It thrives when you willingly face challenges and push your limits. Comfort zones are where dreams go to stagnate.
So, we should view struggle not as an obstacle, but as a sign we are progressing?
Exactly. Growth and discomfort go hand in hand. You must reframe your relationship with discomfort. See it as evidence that you're on the right track. It's a sign that you're venturing beyond what's comfortable and ordinary.
And we build tolerance for this discomfort by starting small?
Yes. Begin by introducing manageable discomfort into your daily routine. These small acts build your resilience. Successful people actively seek out situations that challenge them. They understand that the more they expose themselves to discomfort, the more comfortable they become with uncertainty, struggle, and growth. When the inner critic appears, that voice that whispers, "This is too hard," you must train yourself to focus on your goals and your why rather than your immediate feelings.
What else should we remember about discomfort?
Remember that discomfort is temporary. The pain of effort, the struggle of learning, these feelings pass. What remains is the growth, the knowledge, the strength, and the confidence that come from persevering. Discomfort is not an enemy, it's an ally. It is not a barrier, it's a bridge, the space between where you are and where you want to be. By embracing it, you unlock a level of discipline that sets you apart.
These 6 techniques truly paint a picture of discipline as a holistic life approach.
They do. Self-discipline is not a single trait or a fleeting act of willpower. It's a way of life. It is the sum of your habits, your mindset, and your willingness to consistently choose the hard but right path.
And it's accessible to everyone.
It's accessible to anyone who is willing to do the work. What matters is your commitment to taking one step at a time, consistently. Remember, the beauty of self-discipline is that it compounds. The small discipline choices you make today build momentum, confidence, and resilience.
Thank you, Sarah. This has been a powerful look at how to build discipline, which is ultimately about self-respect and refusing to settle for less than your best.
That's the perfect summary, David. Success is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of discipline. We hope these techniques help all our listeners take the first step and keep going, even when it's hard.